eat the popcorn and then flatten the box and then fire it really hard off the back of someone else's head. That was cinema for me.
Acting in that way is a wonderful way to understand oneself.
It's the perfect job for a curious and extremely self-involved person.
I wanted to be a movie star. Are you kidding?
Like in North America, I think it's perceived as a rich man's game, but in Scotland, like there's a golf course attached to every town, like so you can walk to the course from Main Street. So it's has this sort of working class roots, which I dig, you know, being from there. To be a first generation Canadian, I mean, because I grew up in a Scottish home with Cayleys and kilts and haggis and Robert Burns Day and that stuff, which people hold on to for a couple, probably, I'm not sure how long, when they moved to a different place. So it was like living in Canada, but growing up with a very Scottish heritage, like with a Scottish heritage. There's sports for health, and then there's certain sports, like golf for me works in, it's a spiritual exercise in a sense. I mean, at the highest, you know, it's like all your shit shows up on the course. If your ego, your vanity, your stupidity, your whatever, you want to blame everybody for your problems. All of that stuff is there and available. But I find the most relaxed and easy, you know, rounds of golf I've played are when I'm more focused on the people that I'm playing with and that I'm, you know, don't really give a shit about the outcome. And it really works the same way for working in film or television. For me, the less tightness I have about it, the more creative it is, the less fear I have about the words or what, if I'm doing it right, if, you know, am I good, any of that shit is gone, and you just actually work freely and happily, and it's creative and, you know, without tension. And I think that's maybe what you're always fighting against is tension in almost any creative process, that you're not overthinking things and your body's relaxed and you're just kind of, you know, you're accessible and available. It's the most neurotic game in the world, kind of like acting. It's because, you know, you can continually, it's something outside of you that's going to fix your game. You're going to buy a bunch of junk. This is going to fix it. You're going to get a coach. This is going to help. That's going to help. And so there's this great neuroticism and marketing and, you know, like, but everything that you need is actually inside. And it's sometimes the process of work for me in acting is all that stuff too, where like I'm looking outside for all the answers for what needs to be done in work, but it's really just about me, really just making simple choices from inside and not looking for outside approval or values or anything of that stuff. I think what it is learning, like trying to get results under pressure. I think that's the one thing, like it's similar, that when you're trying to have a good score and it's going well, then how do you hold on to the good part of that? Much like you're doing a scene or a show, like just to keep their focus or the concentration on the right stuff and not on the stuff that keeps coming into your head. Because when you're shooting a good round of golf, you're always you start telling your friends, there's all these things that you're doing before the end of the round that like it completely takes you out of the game, starting to think of the future, the result, all that stuff. The same happens for me in the work, like as an actor, because you just start, if you're thinking about results, if you start thinking about the film festival or what you're going to gain from it, then you're lost. friend of mine said you have to choose to be the hero, and you have to do that in your life as well. And I mean, in my career, it seemed to start out playing a lot of hero-type characters, and then it sort of moved off into some sort of darker, villainous place. And then recognizing it as part of going, oh, well, maybe that challenge has been accomplished. Now move into a different direction. So, but I think it's always continually informing you about what and who you are, and I think you gain from it, because you have to examine the good and bad of yourself in almost all the work that I've chosen to do. There's the part of me that's, say working on the Carl Basai movie right now, where the character is quite vile and evil, and you go, okay, what part of me is that? And you look at it and recognize. You don't have to hold on to it, but you see it in yourself, and then you see it in the world, and you see it in society. Like it's an okay place to be for a month, but after that, it's not. As a young adult, I worked at a library, and and so there was access to tons of books, tons of information about lots of different things. But so I read a lot of bios, Monty Clift, Jimmy Dean, Marlon Brando, and it seemed like that sort of sparked interest, but it seemed like a very far away idea. It wasn't something that was, growing up in Edmonton, that just seemed Hollywood, and that kind of thing was very far from Edmonton. So I think that kind of started it, and I had an uncle who had done some plays and was involved in theater programs in England, and yeah, there was just, it actually sort of found me. I wasn't on a big search for it. It just actually happened. It was more of an accident than anything. And then I remember, like, I'm trying to remember my, those, what is it, those first